And then we have Endre Stavang speaking about the environmental option.
Thank you. I will use my 10 minutes in such a way that I will present my proposal up front during the first minute. This is a proposal that I have structured together with Gideon Parchamovsky of Bar-Ilan University in Israel, and he's also a professor at University of Pennsylvania. Together, we propose a new rule. So this is our proposal. We propose that green growth corporations, which are in a sense proven as such, can place some options to buy their shares with improvable browns. I will come back to what is meant by improvable browns. Brown corporations for a certain number of years. More specifically, we propose 5 years, but that can be a policy variable, with the corresponding duty to buy those shares when time is up. So this is an upside, but also, it must be admitted, a potential downside for the one who is holding the shares in these 5 years. But this is the rule. And this is our proposal. So why did we come up with this proposal? Why did we come up with this rule? What is the origins of the idea? Well, I will come back to that in my next slide. But part of the motivation is an anecdote from my time as a commercial lawyer. I worked in-house in a big oil and gas firm, doing also other business than oil and gas. And for instance, it tried to develop new forms of renewable energies and sell the energy as green power within Europe, using it's 10 years ago now, using the certificates of origins as a kind of paper that was sold together with the green power and with a premium. The reason why we were able to build these build these windmills here all the way up in the Arctic was that there was this technological startup firm that had some connections to new technologies and were able to market new technologies for more robust windmills, better than those that were in operation at the time. And together, as a big conglomerate, we worked together with this green technology firm and a Dutch buyer, Nuon, and we built these windmills and worked together in a team, creating this special purpose entity company, who run these windmills up north. You could, of course, say that history has shown that the market for green energy, contingent upon Dutch subsidies, for instance, has been unreliable, and maybe this was not the best idea ever for saving the world, but it showed how you could use creativity and that the combination of energetic new startup technology firms together with incumbent industries were a powerful coalition to do something in the right direction. So that was part of the motivation for why we are now putting forward our idea. And the more structured rationale for it is can be said to be the following. First, we believe that securing a better future for the planet has to come through technological growth, green growth, rather than curbing growth itself. If we are to bridge the gap between wants and what is available within constraints in the world, we have to have technological growth. It will ease the way we make transitions, and it will reduce the kind of constraints on freedom that we have to endure in order to make sound environmental choices. So our rule is meant to spur green growth. Now, the other important aspect of our proposal is that to place these options with the brown firm. After a certain cool-down period, maybe the brown firm will be angry for a while, having to sit on these shares. Is it 5 minutes over there? Okay, thank you. But after a while, it will see that it has this upside. The idea is that the exercise price for the shares will be the market price at the initial point in time. So that if the green small startup firm has an increase in its market value, that will be an upside for the incumbent brown firm to buy the shares at that exercise price. Why is this important? Because it makes the brown firm think more like a green firm. And why is that important? That is important for political economy reasons. But many big incumbents are well connected to government and has a lot of power to influence legislation and the rules of the game. And we believe that this is a mechanism that will not tinker too much with the autonomy of firms, but will make them see the light by the use of incentives. At least this is one contribution to that. And then what is novel about our idea is that we do not link the production of harm and the victim through liability rules. That has been tested for almost a century now through the polluter pays principle, and it really doesn't work all that well. The polluter pays principle, if you take it seriously as a cost internalization mechanism, it's not really enacted in all its logical implications, and it's hard to see that it ever will. So we think that the polluter pays principle is not, from a realistic point of view, a very impressive legal reality, and we try then to make a new link, and that is between those who can really do something about the problems for the future in a forward-looking way, the technology firms, and those who are in need of modification of their behavior, which is the brown firms, which relies very heavily on existing technologies, which entails emissions. The second point is that our proposal does not rely on the public purse, and we submit that governments have better use of their money these days than to hand them out as subsidies. We are empowering green firms, and we are motivating incumbent browns to look upon the world differently with the use of the eyeglasses of the green firm. And we are using the superior information of private parties. We are harnessing the market to enable the right decisions. So how is this to be done more specifically? Our rule is kind of a principle. It has 5 policy dimensions or fine-tuning elements: the power to place X options, the duty to hold the options for Y years, which I said in our proposal is 5 years, the duty to either exercise the option or to pay the price Z. These are policy variables that can be analyzed further by analyzed further by policy analysts. We also need to define who are greens and who are browns. So the proven greens we submit should be green companies with provable technological solutions according to independent agencies, and which has been in operation for 5 years, been in business for 5 years to weed out the less serious players. And we think that there might be a need to discuss who should be the improvable brands. It could be all the ones that are listed that are in need of emission allowances, but it could also be narrowed down to a more narrow list of suspects. It's up to the politicians. The form of how the rule is to be implemented, I will just say 2 words on that. Of course, it will be satisfactory if there is a new act or a new wording in the Pollution Control Act of the specific jurisdiction in point. But we will also point to the fact that the agencies, the pollution control agencies in many jurisdictions, might have the competence to attach this kind of rule as a contingency for issuing emission allowances, and it could be developed bottom up from agency rule making. So this can be done, and time is up. So thank you.